Hello fellow Avatar and Korra fans, I'm back with my review of episode 2 of book 3, Change, and the first 3 episodes made up the premiere, so I've already made my review of the first episode, and I will make my review of that third episode either later today or the next few days, so I don't know yet, but keep on looking for that, and we have a little bit of news that I'll say before I get into my review. Um, we have the episode titles for all the way up to episode 9 in book 3, and we've already went through the third episodes, which are re-airing tonight, July 4th at 8/7 Central on Nick. So yeah, if you want to watch it again or haven't seen it yet, or because you missed it, they're giving you an opportunity to rewatch it on TV. So yeah, and episode 4 will be called In Harm's Way, and it's supposed to be about where episode 3 set up, where Kai was kidnapped and told that he was now in control of under the control of the Dai Li, who are trapping airbenders down in what looks like Lake Laogai for the Earth Queen's airbending army. So it just touched on that, so we don't know much about that, but this episode should explain more about that. The next one, episode 5, is called The Metal Clan, and we're going to the next 2 episodes, this one and the next one, is going to focus on more of Toph's kids, and so Lynn's siblings and so forth, and more about her, and which is really exciting because I know a lot of people want to learn more about Lynn and her backstory with Toph and everything. So yeah, and they visit the metal city of Zaofu, I think it said. So yeah, that's Metal Clan. Episode 6, Old Wounds, it's a continuation, and it's supposed to be kind of like Out of the Past was in book 1, but this one will focus on Lynn and her backstory, which is really exciting. Maybe we'll find out about Toph and Ishimiri. Episode 7 is titled Original Airbenders, and that's about Tenzin taking all the air nomads they recruited to the air temple and finally start training, and it says boom, you have a bad attitude about it and you'll have to deal with that. So yeah, not really a detailed description for that one, but pretty much it just said Tenzin's helping to train the new airbenders while dealing with Boomy's bad attitude. So okay, then the next one sounds kind of cool and creepy. The next one's called The Terror Within, and I'm guessing that one's gonna focus on the villains and more about them finally, since it's starting to get to toward the end of the season, starting to try to, if it doesn't happen, the next ones go after Korra and learn more about why they want Korra and so forth. So basically learn more about them, maybe a few backstories or something, and what they tried to do to her in the past. And episode 9, our last one for right now, is The Stakeout. And once again, that one didn't have an episode description, and unlike the last one, that didn't either. I don't really know what to say about that because it's called The Stakeout, and I don't really know what would be going on. So yeah, that's just episode 1 through 9, and that's exciting. And now let's get into the episode 2 review, which is titled Rebirth. And in some places, Rebirth of a Nation. That was interesting how they had different titles for different things. But anyway, it's overall the same. Overall reaction. This was probably my favorite of the 3, really close to the first one. And what I liked about this one, it was more like Avatar, just like the first and third one was too, but this one really was. It was just overall enjoyable because there was so much humor in it, especially what I'll talk about later on. It was just really funny. This one was about them going around the Earth Kingdom to different cities, not yet to Ba Sing Se, to recruit airbenders that have been reported there, and they aren't doing too good at it because everyone's refusing to go with them. Like, I didn't want to be an airbender, so I'm not going with you. Everyone keeps getting mad, and Tenzin's getting frustrated, I think. And yeah, it was really humorous, which is more like Avatar. There's a lot of more jokes and everything. I just liked it. It was just fun to watch, and it still is. And two new villains were introduced, and there's going to be four total, which is going to make up the villain group, anti-team Avatar, as I'm calling it, because they have one for each element. And one is an Earthbender named Gazan, and Zahir broke him out. Then they both broke out the Waterbender Minghua. Gazan can turn rocks into magma, and kind of. We don't really know much about him. That's what it looked like. He made it into magma and so forth, and broke out that way with Zahir's help. And they both helped break out Minghua, who is an armless waterbender, which is my favorite because that's just fascinating to me. I hope we get a backstory of her if she was just born without arms or like a defect, or if she lost them somehow. And that'd be pretty intense and cool. And just seeing her use those as her prosthetics, just awesome. And it's water. She freezes the tips of it to like hook on people, freeze it, and throw them over the edge. It was just cool. And yeah, so that's Gazan and Minghua. And then they say they're going after Zahir's girlfriend to complete the group. And her name is Pali. And she's Combustion Woman. So yeah, we don't know much about her. We got to see like a little cameo of her in the next episode, so I won't talk about it now. But yeah, she's coming. And the Tenzin montage, that was probably one of my favorite parts. He kept on going around to different people's houses to try to convince them softly, because you know how he is. He's not like Korra, like listen, you're coming with me. You're like an airbender now, so you better start acting like it. He's not like that, obviously. He's passive because he's an original airbender. And he's just going around to their houses, and he keeps on saying things like, you'll love wearing our airbender robes. They're very breathable. And then, like, I don't know how many times, probably like 5 or 6, he just got the door slammed in his face. I started to feel sorry for him. And they had like a little chibi map going on the screen, and it was just funny. And every single time they got rejected, their faces would get sadder, 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 until the last time they were like crying. It was just funny. And Tenzin, what made it funny, he was saying it to all the wrong people. There was like this guy walking out eating some type of meat, and he was like, our vegetarian lifestyle is very nutritious and enjoyable. And then one time, like the fancy look kind of rich girl, she was wearing fancy clothes and everything. That's the person he said, like, you get to wear fancy airbender robes, very breathable. And he might not have gotten rejected if he wouldn't have said it to the wrong people, which made it funny. Then like a little kid, probably like 5 or 6, who got airbending, he went to the door with his mom, and he was like, when you're a master and you get older, you'll have tattoos all over your body like me. And of course the mom slammed the door. And then trying to remember the other ones. Oh yeah, like, you can let go of all your past belongings or something because you won't have any. And they're like, you'll get to shave your head. Your best friend will be a bison. And then he made the joke, who wouldn't want their best friend to be a bison? And I kind of agree with that. Like, who doesn't? I would love to have a bison as a best friend. But anyway, he kept on getting rejected. That was just really funny. And yeah, it's a lot funnier just watching it, his reaction and everything, and everyone else's reaction is just funny, how he says it and everything. Props to J.K. Simmons for delivering all that. You just made it really, really hilarious. And yeah, the next part was either my favorite part or second favorite, thanks to the Tenzin montage. It was another part made for laughs. It was Airbending Circus, and obviously, like I've said, it wasn't turning out good for them. No one wanted to join them. They haven't gotten a crew yet. So they landed in a small town, and several people, like, they were drawing a crowd. And they put along a little circus, and Bolin was wearing a fake mustache, like he was in Book 1, doing the Pabu circus thing on the street in Republic City to make money. And he was being kind of the same person. and they were showing like Tenzin ripped off his robe and like started doing all the tricks. They were just showing what airbenders can do to try to make them convince people like, oh, I want to do that. So yeah, to make them come forward and talk to Tenzin and Korra. Then Korra did something with Mako, who was an escaped convict, and it was just funny. Then Jinora was flying around, and yeah, that part was just funny. You can't really put it into words, but just see it if you haven't. Because so much happened. But anyway, that part was funny. You get your first recruit, who is a little kid named Kai, and he has a shady past. He's a thief, and he tries to cover it up, but he gets caught beforehand. But when they're going to drag him away to jail, Korra says, no, don't do that. You already have the money back. Just let us take him, and we'll keep. Tenzin says you can release him into our custody, and so forth. So he joined them. Finally, they have a recruit, and he looks like he's going to be a love interest for Jinora, which is kind of funny. I want to see how Tenzin will react. That's the main thing. One of the most exciting parts, nothing funny, exciting, Zuko was above Minghua's prison, and they were like, I'm so sorry, Lord Zuko. They busted him out. I couldn't stop them. And then he started talking about, like, do you have any idea what just happened? Individually, they can take down any bender tier. They can take down the entire world. And once again, I love the new Zuko voice actor. A lot of people were like, why couldn't it be the same voice? I'm like, well, that'd be really weird for one thing. And it wouldn't work. But still, a lot of people just liked his original voice actor, Dante Bosco. I did too. But this one really lives up to that, everyone's expectation, in my opinion. And he's like, the Avatar must be protected. He flies off on his dragon, says, contact Lin Beifong to protect the Avatar at any cost. Then he's like, I'm going to stop them with everything I can. I was like, yeah, go Zuko. But that kind of brought me up to something. He says, individually they can take down any bender. And he said, and I'm going to stop them. I'm like, okay. That made me feel like he's gonna die. I mean, just because his duty now is kind of to protect the Avatar, and I'm afraid he's gonna do that at any cost, even if it means lose his life. And just because he said no bender can stand a chance against them, man, I mean, that pretty much says he's going to die for Korra, which is going to be intense if that happens. I don't want it to, yeah, I kind of do kind of like, I like it being edgy as a kid's show, and I like that. As much as I love the old characters, I want them to kill someone off. I know that sounds terrible, but I do. I think it'd just be cool, but sad at the same time. But, yeah, that's my thought. I kind of think he will die. I think they're bringing him back just to die, which would be intense. But I don't think it would happen before the finale. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. There's just a lot of humor that I can't really put into words, but it was really enjoyable. My rating, probably 9.8. Yeah, 9.8. Almost a 10. And, yeah, that was pretty much just because of the humor and more like Avatar, like, feeling about it. And it's just really enjoyable. And yeah, stay tuned for my episode 3 review, which is titled The Earth Queen, and they're going back to Ba Sing Se.